There's two calls we never want to get in uniform. The first call is the call of being passed over, the call of non-selection for promotion or advancement. We talked about that a couple of months ago. The second call is the long call where you're given three choices of where you and your family are going to next, and none of those three choices are things you asked for. It's a long call because it's a negotiation, but it's a negotiation where the house always wins, as the house should always win. You know, in the military, we talk about seasons of assignment, of promotion, of transfer, the same way civilians talk about spring, summer, fall, and winter. Or if you're in New Orleans, the same way we talk here about football, crawfish, snowball, and carnival. As clear to us as those things are for other people. The advantage we get in the uniform, the jokes and the ribbon we have about transfer season, is that we always get a call. There's always going to be a phone call at some point, whether or not you get what you do or don't want. When we get out, though, there may not always be a phone call. And you hear the horror stories of veterans who put in 20, 25, 30 resumes, never get a call back, never get feedback, never hear what's wrong, never hear how things didn't work out. So we're used to our seasons telling us where we're going to go, whether it's somewhere we want to go or not. We're used to the house always winning. The shift becomes, when it's time to get out, that structure goes away. We no longer get to have those conversations, those jokes about how did you get this assignment, how did you get that assignment. You no longer get the sales pitch about how Port Arthur is the new Portland, Oregon, because it is, right? Of course it is. It definitely is. And it's funny to joke about it. It's funny to laugh about it, but the stuff's important. You know, it defines who we are. Our assignments make our career, our assignments make our history, and our assignments tell our story. And some assignments are extremely storied, and every service has those places where you have to go, where you want to go, and where, for personal reasons, you may not want to go. We talk about, in talent management, being able to code assignments with particular degrees of difficulty. That way, everyone knows explicitly what value that assignment is in the long haul. Now, in the Coast Guard, the enlisted corps kind of has that with prioritized assignment. The officer corps is afraid of it, will never do it. But outside, after the uniform, that coding will not or never exist. Businesses come together where they are for the reasons they are. If you look at the Amazon move to New York and to Maryland, and you find out that the two new headquarters are 20 minutes from Jeff Bezos' house in both cities, it kind of makes sense then why Amazon expands from the West Coast towards the East Coast in those cities. The calls suck. Absolutely they suck. But we're fortunate that the calls exist, that the calls provide some level of comic relief, and that we do get some level of say, first by performance, and then by the house, by the needs of the service. And in our case, in the uniform, the house always wins, but the house gives us something in return. Whereas after the uniform, the house always wins, and the house may not give any feedback in return. So, the title of this post is Choosing versus Being Chosen. And in both contexts, military and civilian, we have to choose ourselves. There's that classic James Altucher book, Choose Yourself. There's the Seth Godin post from 2010 about the world's worst boss. Even if we get a set of orders at some place we want to be, we choose the experience we want to have in that place. We get some contact. There's always a ready-made community of people we can go to, work for, work with. After the uniform, the choice isn't a choice of assignment or a choice of selection. It's a choice of opportunity from the beginning in how we want to be employed, how we want to be entrepreneurs, and how we want to educate ourselves, and the state we want to leave behind. And remember this, you've got YouTube, Twitch stars making 8 figures a year playing video games. So any choice you make is a choice that's much more hopefully fulfilling and rewarding for yourself and your community as that choice to play games is for those people in that community. So choosing versus being chosen, the structure goes away. How will you choose to play?